We really don't want to spar over the name of this Seattle tavern. What's the time-worn in-person setting for many a vigorous verbal fight? A place to expound, debate, plead, bicker, and wrangle? Here's a hint: the feuding can be fueled by a brew or two. The answer, of course, is your friendly neighborhood watering hole. Sometimes, however, such jousting can become boisterous, rousing some to fisticuffs or far worse. So we at Now and Then suggest that one such establishment had the correct branding from the get-go. It was the Don't Argue Tavern. Proof lies in our then photo, taken a few years after Prohibition ended here and funded by the federal grant-funded King County Assessor's Office. It's a slightly blurry rendition, begging jest that the photographer must have imbibed at the saloon before lifting a camera. Actually, it's an anomaly, rare among the seemingly countless crystal-clear images captured by the assessment project. The Don't Argue's location was 228 Fifth Avenue North, a largely nondescript neighborhood north of downtown, full of post-Denny regrade wood frame structures that fell victim to the wrecking ball in the late 1950s, when what we now know as Seattle Center launched itself as the Seattle World's Fair of 1962. The site's early commercial days were innocent. A 1923 Seattle Times ad for a wholesale retail fruit and vegetable stand at that address was touted as one of the best locations in the city. But after the tavern took hold, it made news mostly via police reports, combined with the inevitable headline wordplay. "No argument in the Don't Argue Tavern," read a 1939 blurb reporting the jailing of 3 customers. Such hits dotted news columns for decades. In a January 1954 incident, 2 big men over 50, one armed with a long-barreled gun, locked Don't Argue owner Grace Alley and her bartender in a rear storage room at 7:40 a.m., ransacking the cash drawer and safe of $2,300. 8 months later, a slow drinker who entered at 7:30 a.m. and nursed beers until 2 p.m. pulled the identical caper, escaping with $700. By the time the nearby Space Needle took shape, the Don't Argue building had become dust, and the business moved a block north to diagonal Broad Street, enduring until 1967. Taking over its earlier plot in 1980 was a McDonald's, feasting on a constant stream of Seattle Center visitors until it closed March 31st, 2022, to make way for a $50 million 9-floor lab science building that today is nearly complete. What are we to make of the evolution from veggie stand to tavern to fast food giant to glass-boxed tower? Time and the development bulldozer have an easy answer: don't argue. In our first then photo, this northeast-facing view shows the Don't Argue Tavern standing at 228 Fifth Avenue North in the late 1930s. Besides beer, it sold Cleo Cola, introduced in 1935 and featuring Cleopatra as its trademark. In our second then photo, in the late 30s, a store selling unfinished furniture adjoined the Don't Argue Tavern, seen at right. In our third then photo, the McDonald's at 222 Fifth Avenue North lures Seattle Center area customers on January 4th, 2020 in this east-facing view. "I took my 4 kids there almost every week," says photographer Aaron Breitbarth, who moved to St. Louis in 2022. "We ate dollar ice cream and split orders of fries." Today, near the 1962 Space Needle and monorail and the Hyatt House Hotel in this north-facing view, the nearly complete 9-floor 222 Fifth Lab Science building at right rises on the former site of the Don't Argue Tavern and McDonald's. Also today, a graffitied construction sign indicates the purpose of the 9-floor 222 5th building.